All right, thought I'd do a quick little video about shades of yellow. Had a lot of questions lately about some of our yellow breedings and about what shades of yellow we get in our pups and our breedings that we do, as well as what do these pups look like at adulthood. So what I thought I'd do, I'd just make a quick video going around here on the kennel real quick, showing you what we're looking at and kind of talking about some of the differences. So the first thing I want to point out is one of our mama dogs right here. This is Summer. All right, so Summer is one of our mamas, and actually Summer had a litter that was entirely chocolate. Due to the way that we breed them and the color genetics, Summer produced a litter that was chocolate and black, but she had a small litter so that we came out as all chocolate, which isn't unheard of. But anyways, so Summer is a great example of what I would call a medium yellow. And I kind of quantified this by saying on a scale of 1 to 10, Summer is a 5. She is right smack dab in the middle. She is sort of a classic regular yellow. Now, I want to compare that to Autumn, who's over here. Autumn is usually described as a fox red color. And you can see how Autumn is a much darker shade of yellow. And you're being very sweet, aren't you? And you can see her whole coat is very dark. She has very little, hardly any lighter yellow on her belly. A lot of yellow labs will have a lighter belly. That's very typical. Autumn is a classic fox red. I would call her, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say she's at least a 9.5, probably a 10 out of 10. She is a red dog. Okay, now, when we're looking at puppies, there is a lot of variation, likewise. So, now, the other thing you have to remember is that when you're looking at a puppy, what you're basically seeing is you are seeing their undercoat. So labs have two coats. Are we getting in here with me? Okay. We have, labs are famous for their double coat that gives them their waterproofing. And so they have the outer coat and then they have that undercoat, which is what they're notorious for shedding during the warmer months. So when we are looking at a puppy, what you are seeing is effectively their undercoat. So if you notice here is Summer with her babies, and you can see that they look slightly lighter than her, and that is because this is their undercoat. The undercoat is slightly lighter fur. So if I hold this little critter up here, so this one happens to be a male, and this pup will end up as adulthood being a very dark yellow, a fox red color by the time they reach adulthood. And even in this litter, there is teensy tiny little variances in the yellow. Very, very, very little range because both parents in this breeding were that dark yellow like Autumn here, that classic fox red. So really, everybody in this group is going to be a fox red color by the time they reach adulthood and grow in this adult fur. So these are about as dark as yellow lab puppies look at the beginning of their life. But let's go over here and look and see what Hermione has. Hermione has some yellow pups that she's raising as well that have quite a bit of variation in the yellow. So let me show you what I mean here. It's also worth noting that some of the cool color genetics here allows Hermione, who is a chocolate lab, Hermione carries the yellow gene recessively, and we bred her to a stud dog who is yellow, but does not carry the chocolate gene. So that means her litter was yellow and black with no chocolate pups. So anyway, we have 5 yellow babies in her litter right here, and you can see that there's a noticeable distinction in the shades of yellow. So for example, this pup right here, this is a smaller female. I got cedar chips on, baby. And I would expect this pup is going to be a pretty dark yellow. This is going to be fox red, or at least very close to it. I would say this puppy is going to be an 8 or 9 out of 10 on my darkness scale. This pup is going to be pretty dark. Even her belly does not have much light coat on it. This is going to be a pretty dark yellow pup out of the Hermione breeding. Now, contrast that with, say, for example, this pup, which is a male and has a much lighter coat. You can tell this is a more light, creamy coat. This pup is probably going to be considerably lighter at adulthood. I would say this one will be like definitely going to be a 5 or less. Probably going to be like a 2 or 3. This one is a fairly light, creamy color. Going to have some darker marking on its face, you can see, and then some lighter markings down its side. So looking at the Hermione litter as a group, you can see a lot of variation in the shades of yellow. So we have, let's see, a dark yellow female. So we have one really dark yellow female. And then back here we have one big old chunker of a dark yellow male. He's gonna be a big old boy. Okay, and then here we have a fairly light colored male. And then this one is a pretty light colored female. Honestly, I am leaning heavily towards, this is the one that I'm planning to keep, most likely. And then back here, it looks like we have one more yellow male that's probably going to be on the lighter scale, like a 3 or 4, and darkness that is a little bit smaller as well. So anyway, so there's 3 yellow males, 2 yellow females. There's a light one, a dark one of both sexes. So that kind of shows you a little bit of the variation in our shades of yellow here with our litters.